If any of you are subscribed to my Patreon, you will know that I did the initial story on Noah Bush on my Patreon, but an update has come along and I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and put the update here up on YouTube. So in case y'all are unaware of the Noah Bush story, Noah Bush was a little boy, as you can see in this picture, who was drowned at the hands of two white boys about a little over a month ago. I'm actually recording this on August 24th, 2024. And they ended up confessing to what they did, and then they had a little small trial, and then they were ended up found to be found guilty and convicted of what they did. And each of them got 2 years apiece in prison, or in a detention center, I should say. And I believe both of them were 11 years of age, or one was 11 and another was another age, but I think they were around the same age. So that was the first part, but then there's also another part there as well that involves the mother of the boys as well. But let me just go ahead and get into the article itself, because a lot of people are upset at this 2-year sentencing, and honestly, for me, it's not enough time. 2 years is nowhere nearly enough time for what these boys did. And it's something else that I need to point out as well as I get further along in the video. A Wayne County, Georgia judge handed down a 2-year sentence to the second child responsible for the drowning death of 8-year-old Noah Bush, but the victim's family believe it's far from enough. During the sentencing hearing on August 22nd, the 11-year-old confessed to pushing Noah into a clay construction pit filled with water and holding his head underwater until he drowned. I feel he deserves life in prison. He took his life and never showed remorse for his actions, said Noah's outraged mother, Demetrius Bush, during her powerful victim impact statement before the judge. Even though he knows right from wrong, even though he lied to keep himself out of trouble because he knew what he did was wrong, he's treated as a victim when it's my son who was dead. So you can see right there, this was a straight up murder. Let's just call it what it is. He pushed him in his construction pit that was filled with water and held him down underwater, killing him. That was the whole, like literally that's what he did. This was not an accident, which also goes back to when we get to their charges as well, don't even add up to what he did. The 11-year-old pleaded guilty to all 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, simple battery, concealing the death of another, and criminal trespass, and the judge gave the child 2 years in confinement, the maximum penalty allowable in the state. Now look at the charges. Involuntary manslaughter, simple battery, concealing the death of another, and criminal trespass. That's all this 11-year-old was charged with. Not even murder in the first degree. Basically, these are all like damn near misdemeanor charges. I don't see not one felony up there, because a felony would have had his ass locked up for a very long time, longer than 2 years. But see, there you have it again. This is another Operation Protect the White Boy on our hands. There will be a second hearing in 30 days to determine the damages owed to the Bush family. Natalie Hartinson, who we're about to talk about now, who is the mother of the convicted thug that she birthed. I mean, look at this. Not look at her, but look at this. Looking at this thing on the screen, I can see how and why her son is the way that he is. Natalie Hartinson, who is mom to the convicted 11-year-old, is being held in jail on a felony charge of providing false information to police during the investigation, and she appeared at the hearing via video. The other culprit, a 10-year-old boy, was sentenced last month for his involvement in the murder. He will also spend 2 years in the detention center. Demetrius is devastated that her son's killer will one day soon walk free. Basically, because he's 11 now, that means he'll be free when he turns 13. So he'll be walking sooner rather than later. Noah will never walk about this earth again, and he deserves to be punished for it, she said in her statement to the judge, in which she stressed the importance of accountability. This child will offend again, but Noah will never breathe, run, or play another sport ever again, and I feel he should lose every privilege in life that he stole from my son. Let me just say right here that I am so glad that his mother is not on that forgiveness tip, because you already know how some of our people can be. So I'm glad she's not on that I forgive him and all types of stuff. Forgive him and her and the other one too, because at the end of the day, they took away her child. they took her child away and they handed down a very low ball, soft ball sentencing to both of those kids that took out her child, and didn't even properly charge them, if you ask me. Noah was first reported missing in the South Georgia town of Jessup on May 15th when he disappeared from home after authorities in the local community launched a massive 11-hour search with help from his 11-year-old killer. Imagine that. Imagine that. So the person that did it was also out there, quote unquote, helping to find him, even though he was the one that did it. So he knew where he was. So man, listen, let me continue. Noah's lifeless body was finally found submerged in a watery pit. Police initially ruled his death an accident, believing he had simply wandered into the pit, but Noah's family was suspicious and pulled in a private investigator who uncovered disturbing information that led to the arrest of the two boys. Francis Johnson, an attorney for the Bush family, said in a statement that the homicide appeared to be racially motivated and will press for prosecution against the adults who were responsible for promoting hate to their children. During the investigation, a video allegedly emerged showing the 11-year-old beating up a black child and calling him the N-word. Bush admitted to the judge that she struggles to find forgiveness in her heart for the defendant and his family. And she shouldn't have to find it. It's nothing to forgive. To constantly remember that he helped search for Noah, knowing where he was and what he had done to him, is just another devastating blow to my family. The grieving mom goes back to memories of her kind and bright son who loved basketball. He was a little boy with dreams of becoming someone great, and those dreams were snatched away senselessly. There is no justice that can replace the life of my 8-year-old son, Noah. So there's the story right there. Now, the thing that stuck out to me the most in this is that we have a picture of Noah, because clearly he was the victim. We have a picture of the thug's mother, because she was involved, but we have no picture of the one that did this to him and the accomplice. Gee, I wonder why that is. Now, had this been the other way around and this was Noah Bush that did this to one of these boys, his picture, they would have put his picture out there with no hesitation. Why are they concealing the identities of these boys? Not only do we not even have a mugshot of these boys, we don't even know their names. When I did my initial reading of an article on Patreon for this story right here, their names weren't even mentioned in that. They just said they were two boys, two white boys. That was it. They don't even mention them here. I feel like with a crime like this, that part about them being minors, we got to conceal them because they're minors. Damn that. At this point, they literally made the choice, the conscious choice to take someone's life. They should be put on blast. Mugshot, name, where they're from, all of that. I don't give a damn if they are not 18. These boys took this child's life senselessly. They straight up murdered him. And these charges are some bullshit. 2 years? Both of them got 2 years. The only felony charge that I heard or read that was in here, unless I might have gotten something wrong, was the one involving the mother. Interesting. While she was involved, she wasn't the one that took him out. So I find that very interesting. But I'm not surprised in the least bit either. And I hope that Noah Bush's mother fights tooth and nail even further past this, because 2 years is unacceptable. They will be out, well, the one will be out when he's 13. 2 years, that's nothing. He will be able to continue to go, and the thing is now that they concealed his identity and we don't know his name or anything like that, that means when he gets out, he could, I don't know, go live with another relative or something like that, and people will never know who he is or what he did. I mean, the nerve of this kid to take this boy's life and then be a part of the search party to help, quote unquote, find him when he knows he was the one that killed him and knows where he's at. That is wild. And I also have to, shout out the mother and even her attorney for saying, No, it's just no way that he died of an accident. It was an accident. I'm glad they went with their gut instinct and said, no, this is more to it than just an accident. I'm sure this boy that did this to him would have preferred for it to be that way so there would be no paper trail leading back to him. They even said when he was in court when this was happening, he showed no remorse for what he did. I swear this kid is probably the spawn of Damian Thorne. If you know, you know. But again, RIP to Noah Bush. Hopefully the fight definitely continues because 2 years is simply not enough time. It does not fit the crime at all. It really doesn't. Neither do those charges.